perfect. Allowing the nature in. And
Exactly.
we are live. So good morning and hello world.
Good morning, world.
So wherever you're coming from today, as the algorithms are finding all of you out there,
Woohoo!
just type one thing that you were grateful for. You know, this energy of gratitude always begets more, and um, that is what's so important to cultivate. And as we cultivate it, as we start to just look at what's not working, because we can all wake up with brains that are terrified, and um, it's just a conscious practice, just like going to the gym, like anything else.
Yeah, of course.
And I just taught this guy to surf yesterday for the first time. I ran into him. This guy goes, Ben Curtis. I'm in Costa Rica. If you didn't notice, things different. And we're in the jungle, and I haven't seen this guy in 4 years. And he was a videographer in a music video I was an actor in Brooklyn, and 5 years ago. And I've been following him, and he's a musician, and he moved to Costa Rica. And I was like, wow. But some other part of Costa Rica. And so he's literally in Nosara, where I am for 3 days, and he sees me driving a golf cart, going surfing. And long story short, I taught him to surf, and he's like, wow, it's finally doing it. And we were just talking about, how he said he had to deflate his ego to get better. That, because he's just a great athlete at everything. And it was an opportunity for us to just see that just a little practice is what can literally change our entire lives.
That's amazing. Yeah, practice extends beyond all those physical things, those sports, those activities, those artistic talents that we have. Practice is really, 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 for me, practice is often about consciousness, and I was, yesterday, this week has been really this reflection and interestingly enough, purpose, right? The energy of purpose has been coming up. And no coincidence, Mercury in retrograde is in the sign of Capricorn, which Capricorn is the sign of hard work, right? And so it's all about being defined by hard work. And that is completely contrast to what I know to be true in every cell of my body. Our purpose, this is our purpose. We're here.
Yes.
Our purpose is to live, Ben. Our purpose is to be here. Our purpose is to have fun. Our purpose is to enjoy this life, to love, to care, to express ourselves, to be ourselves, to learn new ways of being ourselves. And every once in a while, we get caught up in the definition of what purpose means, because we go back to those places in our lives when it was like, well, your purpose is to change the world, and your purpose is to have children, and your purpose is to do this, and your purpose is to do that. And all of those things may be a part of your divine purpose, but they are not your purpose. Your purpose is simply to be, and to simply to be, and to recognize the gift that it is to be here and to be in consciousness all the time,
Yes, absolutely.
And it's not easy. It's not easy, especially when we have energetic influences that want to creep in and test us and say, oh yeah, you should be doing a hell of a lot more. I am actually here in quarantine because I tested positive for COVID last year, or last year too, but last Wednesday, I tested positive for COVID. And it's kind of been one of those things of, it's so different because I'm not sick, thank God. I'm not sick. I'm just positive for COVID. So that space of reevaluating and being grateful for life is it takes on a whole new meaning when you have four walls to look at.
Yeah, it does. Oh my gosh. And so you said a lot of powerful things there, and I just want to say good morning to you, and good morning to everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Wake up Thursday.
That's right.
Wake up every day.
Absolutely. And we've been going with the flow, and as I've been trialing living in the jungle of Costa Rica, working with, man and the flow of technology or lack thereof. And it's been really great to just dance in the elements of as
Yeah.
man is coming in and creating machinery inside of like protected wildlife and just looking to find balance. And I keep running into so many men here specifically. It's no coincidence for me because that's the kind of work I do. And I'm realizing how powerful manifestation really is and how simple it is. And a lot of working with you, Daniel, and just the reminder and the reflection from you always how much we can really obtain anything we want through ease. And, most of my clients talk about this and all the men I've run into 4 men I know from New York, all different walks of life and all searching right now, searching, finding themselves, having new transformations. And inside of COVID, I think one beautiful gift we've been given is some isolation with ourselves, some time that to tuck in. And we've been tired of it because we're ready to move on with our lives and move the needle forward and get productive again. Right. But I believe also, like, I don't want anyone to be sick. And when you are, you can fight it or you can learn from it. Right. And you've always taught me to ask questions. And it's these moments to really let go and look at self-care. And inside of what to tie everything you're saying together too, that, working hard does not equal love, satisfaction, feeling better. Really anything. It's just, it's something to do, and you do need actions sometimes to get out of your head, right? But an action can be to let go or to stop trying to work so hard, because once you get there, then what? There's so many people who we see who have achieved greatness. I mean, a lot of people who come to Nosara have money and have some success and have, the luxury to travel to this incredible remote place just to step into nature. But even in that, that doesn't always equal joy, right? And so where can we, as you said, stop just trying to work hard and just receive
and be that energy. I was working with someone recently too. It's a beautiful point that you make, because the way that the subconscious mind works, in my work and in the work that I do, we work with the subconscious mind a lot. And the subconscious mind is actually, it contains your survival self, right? It contains your how you your it's like the motor to your life. If you imagine that your life was like a car and you were the driver and the car was your life, your beliefs and your subconscious are the motor and the gasoline that run it. And everything could look all fine and great and amazing, and you could say, hey, I want to go to the store today, and you jump in your car and you drive to the store, and then all of a sudden it sputters off, and you're like, oh, what's going on? And you have to go back in and you have to ask how to fix. Recognize that it's the motor. The motor has a different point of view. It has a different energy. It's breaking down. It needs help. It needs this. It needs that. So what happens then is that you take the time to take care of your motor, tune your motor, align your motor so that you can continue on your way. So the subconscious mind works very, very similarly, kind of in the same way. And one of the things that I've noticed about the subconscious mind is that because it holds that survival self, oftentimes we have decided that our life's purpose is our life. Meaning, because our life's purpose is our life, what happens once you have achieved whatever that is? And believe it or not, in many, many places, people have died, right? Because they've said, my purpose is to do this. And they've achieved their purpose. And then subconsciously, they're like, oh, I have nothing else to live for. I might as well die, right? And the same is reversed. Oftentimes we have these limiting beliefs. We wonder why we never get anywhere in life. It's because we also have this dual belief that, oh my God, I'm going to die, right? And therefore, sometimes we feel like we live our entire lives trying to chase a dream or trying to chase a purpose, when in actuality, our subconscious mind is saying, hey, you know what? if you get that, you're going to die. Right. And so what would happen, and what magic and miracles could we create if we actually let go of attaching ourselves, our to signify, to hold in significance that our life means this and our life means that, and instead of just um allowing that to be the thing that controls us, to really be in the flow of allowance, to say, okay, this is something I want to do, and that's something I want to do, and this is important to me, and that looks fun to me, but it doesn't define me. Right? Nothing defines me. Nothing defines me. This body doesn't define me. What I do doesn't define me. My creativity, my talent, my all these things, they don't define me. They may be a part of what makes this or my energy so so powerful, but it doesn't define me. And I think if we, as we start to move into this day and age, deeper and deeper into the age of Aquarius, and starting to feel more of this energy of being free from all of those limitations, then what we're going to start to see is that we're going to have to choose to see outside of all those things that we thought we needed to be locked in by. And so what would it take for us, Ben? And I propose this to all of our listeners and viewers. Like, would you be willing to set aside all of those things that you've chosen to define you today? Just today. We're not saying do it
all the places where you're just working hard to achieve, and that defines you, or whatever else it is, right?
Exactly. Whatever that is, whether it's a paycheck, whether it's your kids, or all of that kind of stuff.
Or your relationship, the thing.
Your relationship. Yes, a great example. Would you be willing to, just for today, just try it, to put it on the side and say, that is not my purpose. My purpose is me. I am my purpose. My purpose is to live. My purpose is to thrive. My purpose is to have fun. My purpose is to have joy. My purpose is to be present. And what would that take? And what would that create?
I love that.
And I say it also, by the way, because it's also something that I've recognized this week, and particularly in the last few days, that is a practice, right? Because I've caught myself several times falling into that place of being like, well, you're not doing enough today, or well, you didn't have this many clients, and you didn't do this, and not this many people didn't show up to your thing, and blah, 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 blah. So it's like, what are we doing? What are we really, 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 really doing? And how can we change that?
Well, what I'm hearing from that is prioritizing yourself. And that was the thing you're talking about. We're looking out there for all the answers, and what's resonating with me from this is just the reminders to keep looking within for what it is you really want, instead of sacrificing everything that you want for something else.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess this is a great example. A client sent me a photo of he's become a friend too. He just got his dream apartment. One of the things we were working on is him getting back into acting, and him living alone and having a place of his own. And he's been stuck with people forever. And he literally just 6 months later, after working together, sent me a picture. He said, "You won't believe it. I have news to share." He has this amazing, huge apartment that just fell into his lap. And he said, "But I don't know which couch to get." And he sends me a photo, right? He said, "The blue one, all my friends are like on the edge about it." And so I just said, "Well, I mean, it's beautiful, but what do you want?" And he said, "Well, I want the caramel colored ones." So he said, "But they don't have it." I said, "Well, then wait till you find a caramel one, don't buy something you don't want." So where in your life are you still compromising your dream or anything you want just because you're like, well, this is there, maybe that's easier? And that's actually why you're getting more of the stuff you don't want, because because you're inviting that in. You're inviting the energy of compromise in. And the more you stand in your boundaries and in your purpose and in your actual love, tension, and dream, that's what you're going to call out. And that's what you're going to start training the people in your life to listen to you as. I mean, I'm a recovering people pleaser, codependent, full stop. And still it's a practice for me setting these things, but I trained people to, that I was going to get in there with them, and that they could always like dump their crap on me. And and then I learned so many more healthy, powerful ways, and it's all just in practice, and mostly being more gentle. And the last thing I'm going to say is, so many people say to me, oh, like, God, I'm so jealous you're in Costa Rica, God, I had to blah blah blah. I'm like, well, then
Then get on a
excuse my
plane.
language, yeah, fucking, then come here.
Yeah.
You went to Mexico. You do not have to survive another winter if you don't want to. For me, I love winter, and
Yeah.
it doesn't work well energetically for me for 6 months in certain places.
Yes.
I personally, I know that I need more ocean time, more sunshine, and that took me 40 years to find,
Right.
or to give myself permission to just stay. My clients are
Right.
like, when are you coming back? You're still there? Like, yeah, I mean, yes, it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Exactly.
realizing I'm allowed to stay.
Yeah.
And
So
you know what? Clients and work show up while I'm here. That's usually when you
absolutely.
book jobs, is when you go do something you love.
Right.
Book
When you
book
are in
plane ticket to Bermuda and you will book a job. I guarantee it.
totally be in the flow of what you want and what you're asking for. We've got to get over this belief. We have got to get over this belief that we can choose for somebody else.
Say more about that.
Well, we think that, we find ourselves in these places in which we're like, yeah, I want to, but my wife doesn't want me to go. Or I want to do this, but, my job won't let me allow it. Right. And what we're saying is we're saying that we're trying to persuade and change somebody else's belief to choose to align with us, right? Instead of recognizing that we are the ones with the choice.
Wow.
Right? We are the ones with the choice. And until we embody and embrace it, the only person we have control over, the only thing we have control over, is our own consciousness, our own beliefs. Then what else is possible?
Preach.
What else is possible? Oftentimes, people like to walk into our lives and think that they can take control. They think they can take over, right? They think they can take over and
then they think they're doing a service.
Yeah, they think they're doing a service, and even if the service that they think they're doing is really for themselves, they want to push it out in order for others to think that they can do it as well. And the thing is, guys, is what is it really that you're trying to do? You're trying to, and where are we doing that to other people as well, right? Where are we doing that to other people? Where do we inject our need to have our voice heard with people who really not really listening and don't really want to listen? So what would it take for you to just take your marbles and go somewhere else where your energy is appreciated? You know what I mean?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. So we have an opportunity.
We had a tech issue for a second. Yes, I heard you.
Yeah. And we always have this opportunity. We always have this opportunity to really check in with ourselves and say, honestly, how am I showing up? How am I showing up here? How am I showing up here? How am I bringing energy, or am I being a distraction? Am I trying to distract people? Am I trying to force my opinions and my beliefs on others because I need that, because that's important to me? That makes me look and feel so important or so significant. How can we change that?
And I have a great example. I'll call myself out. I love to give examples. so that if you are listening, you know what we're talking about. You can apply this to your life.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're here watching with us, whether you're live right now here on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, or if you're listening to the podcast later, we really want you to ask us questions, send us questions, join
Yeah,
us in this
please.
dialogue, and just say thank you for being here as well. So I want to acknowledge this really as a group experience, even though you're mostly listening to Daniel and I right now. We're really also listening for you. So
That's right.
just know that we see you and we hear you, and we would love to hear from you. And so thank you for being here.
That's right. Exactly.
And with that, I'm going to throw myself under the bus. Actually, I'll just say I'm going to roll one out for you. I'm going to roll out the red carpet and just lay it all out. I'm going to take out the throwing under the bus metaphor because we don't want to create that.
Exactly.
So to roll it out. Yesterday, Cassie, some of you know my amazing wife, and I met Daniel through her, and we've both gotten certified in theta healing from Daniel, and I have this incredible gift to get to travel with her and create with her and be in Costa Rica with her. And we've been having breakthroughs in our marriage and our relationship and our life, both personally and together. And one of those things is sleep. And so she's really fought with sleep for a long time. And now that we're in nature, she's starting to sleep really well. And we're going to bed a few hours after sunset and getting up at sunrise.
Beautiful.
And it's been life-changing. And that's actually how we're really meant to design with circadian rhythms. So yesterday, for the first time, Cassie woke up for sunrise and she was so excited. And I was excited. She was like, do you want to come join me? And I was like, oh my God, holy shit, what time is it? Okay, sure. Yeah, let's do it. I'm practicing saying yes here this week. And so much has come out of it. But so I'm saying yes. And she's like, wait, but it's in 5 minutes. It rises in 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'll get the golf cart. And we could speed over because it's like a 7-minute walk to the beach, right? We're just let's outcreate, let's get you there on time. So she's like ready and she's out there, and I'm like, oh God, we're gonna need water because the sun comes up, it's really hot. So I go get water. I'm like, I'll be right there. And what I didn't hear was she was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. And so I'm thinking she's waiting for me in the golf cart. The gate's closed though, we're locked in, and I can't find her anywhere. And so I start running around looking for her. And then I'm like, well, I guess she just walked on. And I drive down the road towards the beach and she's not there either. And I'm like, oh, she literally disappeared. I'm driving back and forth. And my goal is just to get Cassie to the sunrise. And
meanwhile, her ass is already there.
Well, she had stopped to look at these monkeys, and she was really sad because she had seen how they were having to walk across wires because their trees had been taken down by someone's house. And normally you can put up ropes, but they hadn't. And these monkeys, she was just really sad about it. And that's when I found her. And I was like, where are you? Oh my God, I'm trying to find you. Oh. And she felt yelled at. And she got really upset with me. And it had broken her spirit in the morning. Like something had just triggered her. Like she felt like she was being yelled at in a moment where she was already feeling down. And I was feeling abandoned and confused because I was like, where the hell did my partner go? Like I thought we were going, and she had just decided to walk on, which is something we're also taking on, like not always waiting for each other and getting resentful, just being like, okay, I'll see you there. So she walks on, and I was so upset. And then I was needing to be heard. And here's me trying to control the situation. This is bringing it full circle. I wanted her to know how much she said my frustration was really upsetting. And I wanted her to know how much that was coming from a place of love and service.
Yes.
And I really wanted to be heard. But what was happening, and I could kind of see it, but I couldn't stop, was that I was really trying to have my ego and needs met in a minute when she was literally she was taking care of her needs and invited me along. And so I was trying to impose my needs on her. And the funny thing of it all is we didn't even realize, because it was so early, that the sun rises on the other side of this land, so we can't even see it.
That's amazing.
We were arguing and she's like, okay, I'm going for a walk. And I was like, okay, I guess she's gone. So I went surfing, and she was even more upset that she thought I had abandoned her. but I hadn't left yet, and I saw her, and I wanted to soothe with her, and she wanted to soothe with me. But
Mhm.
what all it was, and then we came back together and we talked it through and we hugged it out. And we grew immensely from it, and it was us just like so wanting something and so
Mhm.
wanting it together, but we were fighting so hard that we were destroying it.
Wow.
And all we needed to do was let go, let
Mhm.
space come in, and then come back together. And so that was me, a clear example of me trying to dominate and control a situation out of fear. And I realized in hindsight, I was just triggered. My nervous system was so frazzled by trying to get somewhere really early and really fast that I missed out on the whole gift of the experience. And we were able to
Wow.
recreate it together later. But, that's purposely how, an example in my life of where I've been trying to control, and actually you
Sure.
miss the gift by trying to force this thing on someone else. Right. So we're all
Wow.
human,
Of
and
course.
it's in those moments that the gifts come. It's in the practice when the edges meet, when things are going great all the time. There's not always like something to rub up against and practice with. So these resistances, these challenges can be great gifts if you allow them.
Mm. Thank you so much for sharing that story, Ben, because
Mhm,
I think we so many of us can relate to it in
mhm,
those times in which we really, really want to be a help, right?
mhm.
We really want to help. We really want to give somebody else the most amazing experience, or we want to support them or be there for them. And instead what we do is we choose an old version of ourselves that's like, "Oh, I can control this situation for you so that you can have the
Mm,
experience I want you to have."
mm.
Right? And and listen, I thank you. I really, really want to honor and recognize and thank you for not making yourself wrong about it, because that's
Mhm.
really important as well. Not holding on to the wrongness and being wrong about this.
That's something I used to do that I've actually worked on. Like, I could have shamed myself and been like, "Oh, you upset her," and I was like, "No, I mean, I did what I thought was right, and
Yeah.
I had to take responsibility for my reaction."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I
And
got to. Yeah, it's a privilege to have that awareness and
a-
to take responsibility for those things.
and also the other thing that I want to also really highlight here is you said we we learned through it, we got through it, and we got to choose differently next time, you
Mhm.
know? And I think that that's one of the things that can be the most healing in the world is if we can take responsibility for something that shows up within us that's not really authentic, then
Mm.
we can always change it and make it authentic,
Yeah.
you know? We
Yeah.
always have that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's a great practice, and your partners or your friends or your family in your life will
Mhm.
deeply appreciate it. I mean, I
Yeah,
still catch myself, like, things come out of my mouth towards my partner because we spend a lot of time together.
that's
I
right.
still catch myself being like, "Blah, blah," and then
Ah!
now instead of, uh, anything else where I'd, try to start to defend it, I just say, "You know what?" Before Cassie can even respond to it, I say, "Hold on. I just heard that come out. May I try again?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, I actually, I realized that's not what I wanted to say, and that wasn't helpful
Yeah.
for either one of us. Here's what I wanted to say." And so she, I've told her, like, I'm practicing, and that actually allows her to listen to me as someone learning, right? Not
Yes.
someone who is Mr. Right
Who
and trying
knows
to defend
better.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Or her no. Yeah.
That happens with me and Guillermo all the time too. Like, I'll say something and it will come out of my mouth, and I'm like, he's not going to take that in the way that I meant it. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
could feel how forked tongue I was in that moment, in those 10 seconds. And I was just like, and all of a sudden, and I think he goes quiet. He goes quiet for a second, and he's like, I see him processing it, and I'm like, um, can I have a do-over? Because I think that when I tried to communicate to you, I remember this one particular time he was making soup, and I hate thin soup. Like, soup to me has to be thick. And he's doing the soup, and all of a sudden he adds all this milk and it becomes all watery. And I was like, that doesn't look like it's gonna be very thick. And he was like, exactly. He goes, mi amor, don't worry, be patient. It will thicken up. And I was like, okay. And I literally heard myself say that, and I was like, wow, you bitch, you bitch. And then a little bit later, when the soup actually did turn out really thick, I was like, mi amor, please forgive me. In that moment, I thought that you didn't hear me when I said I don't like thin soup. Okay, I'm so sorry. I recognize that that's my limitation. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to like snatch your head off in that moment, but I'm working.
I mean, I love you, and I would really appreciate it if it's a little thicker.
Exactly.
Oh my
Please.
god,
Totally.
that's
Exactly.
awesome.
But I've also worked through situations in which I would have just kept my mouth shut and said nothing, and
Mhm.
just sat there and eaten the soup that was thin and was gross.
Mm,
So where's not gross, but you know what I mean? Like, where's the balance in that? Where's the balance
mm,
in, being able to communicate and be able to communicate in an effective way that is also the space for both of you to grow, for both
yeah,
of us to grow,
yeah,
I
and I
just want
wanna
to,
point
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I just, I'm watching some of the comments come in on Instagram, and I want to acknowledge also Christine, who said thank you guys for being here. Christine is literally my childhood idol. She is literally one of
Oh,
the greatest actresses I have ever met in my life. We used to do theater together, and anytime Christine was on stage, I would wait outside the wings and I would watch her because
mm,
she knew how to draw in an audience. She knew how to make people laugh. She knew how to move
mm.
people. And I love her, and I love that. I love that you're here, Christine. So thank you for showing up and for being here and supporting me. And I don't know what you thought were going to get out of this, honey, but how does it get even better? I love it. So thank you, Christine. And also my amazing, sweet, incredible Spanish tutor, Abril, is here, and
Ooh,
magical filmmaker who's working with me on some really cool projects in Mexico. Thank you, Abril, for stopping by and saying hi. I adore you. We love you. Thank you.
necesito
And
un mentor de español
im-
también.
see, and MHK Love, thank you. You are amazing too, dear friend.
Yeah,
Thank you for your contributions.
it's so loving, and Mr. Rob Graham.
And Mr. Rob Graham. Yeah. Thank
Uh,
you guys.
Thank you all for being here. And
Yeah.
I wanna wrap up with this. One thing that Daniel always reminds me of, and I love about you, is the art of asking.
That's right.
Maybe that can be a workshop we do. Our next workshop, the art of asking.
Yes. Yes.
Um, when if you're not receiving what you want, there's
Yeah.
something you can ask for. And even in
Always.
partnership, one thing that Cassie and I, my wife and I, practice is requests. So
Hmm.
if someone's like, well, that soup isn't thin, or that soup isn't thick,
Yeah.
to which if Cassie said that to me now, or vice versa, the other person would say, do you have a request?
That's amazing. I love that.
And to which we say, yes, could you please thicken the soup? I would really love that. And it could be hard for your ego. At first, for me, it reminds me of a parent. Like,
Uh-huh.
would you like to actually use your words and tell me what you would like? And you're like, oh, I just want some ice cream. You're
Yeah.
freaking out, but you're having to try to calm and use words, right?
Yeah.
So it's a really
Totally.
great tool of just requesting. Like, if you're asking what you want, and we're so terrified of people saying no, but what
Yeah.
if no could just be like, okay, great, and pass the salt,
Hmm. Yeah.
or that you can just ask and maybe you'll get it.
Yeah.
Right. I
Exactly.
had a client ask for help this week, and he now has a social media manager working for him for free. His friend offered
Wow.
his time, and that he didn't even know that he could ask for those things, right? And so we can free ourselves up just by asking.
That's right.
And then don't forget to be the space of receiving, because when it's coming to you, you're like, no, I couldn't. No.
Exactly. That's,
You know,
Ben, you are obviously, we've always known this. You're super intuitive and super aware, because actually the project that I'm working on with Abril in Mexico is a program that is designed to discuss and to learn how to ask for what you want.
ooh,
So great
cool.
job. Yeah.
Nice.
It's called Let's Make It Real. So
Ooh, I love it.
let's make it real, guys. Ben, as always, it's a joy and a pleasure and an honor to be with you. Thank you for the space. Thank you for being, and thank you to everyone who's popping in and saying hi. We adore you all, and we're grateful for you all.
And if you're listening on this podcast, please subscribe. And on social media, comment, like, tag a friend, because let the algorithms know that we need more of this beautiful, positive messaging. And we are so grateful for you. So let's help spread the word. And we are so grateful for you. And have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Absolutely.
Daniel, I love you.
I love you too. I love you so much. I miss you. And let's play soon. Okay.
Yes, let's get on the same time zone.
We keep bouncing off of each other.
Have a beautiful day, everyone.
You too. Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye.